Hello, my name is Julie, and I'm here to answer your questions. So, the first question is: how do you think you'll contribute to the STEMS program? I'm a very curious and dynamic person, and I think that's why I was so interested in the STEMS program in the first place. As I think it just has so much to offer and to experience that it would be the perfect environment for me to grow as much as I can and to develop as much as a person as I should, and consequently be able to lift people up around me and be beneficial in return to my environment, because I believe that you can never be really beneficial to anyone if you're not on top of who you can be, and so it's all related. And also, I'm super interested in all of the extracurriculum activities that you propose, and I would love to be proactively involved in them. So I think it would be a way for me to support the networking between the students. So the second question is: describe briefly a personal experience of success and what did you learn from it. I don't know if it's a thing in Portugal, but in Belgium, Scoutism is really a big thing, and all of my friends used to do it, except of me, because I was really into horse riding back then, and it used to consume all of my free time. And then for some kind of reason, I stopped at 17, and it was already too late to actually join as scouts as participants. But it wasn't too late to join it in a staff and so become the leader of the scouts. And so my friends actually convinced me to do so, and that's why I joined. And it was so scary but exciting at the same time to actually discover what it really was. And at the end of the year, they chose me to become the leader of the staff, so the leader of the leaders, which was for me such a huge personal victory because, as I said, everybody was doing it beside me. So people used to make so much fun of me. I mean, not in a mean way, but when you're a teenager, you take everything personally. So it was kind of like a personal revenge. And also my dad used to be really involved, so like for many years he just kept telling me how disappointed he was that I wasn't really giving this attention. And so it was really, even though I realize now, and I did realize back then that it wasn't a big thing for me, it was. And what I loved about this victory is that it's not the kind of victory that you just can lay on it and be like, okay, I won, I don't have anything else to do. No, it's a kind of victory that pushes you further all the time, and it's the kind of victory that's giving so much more responsibility, so much more activities to organize, and it really made me grown. And I think I still have this part of me inside. And yeah, consequently, a personal experience of failure and what I learned from it. So as I said, I used to be really into horse riding. My whole life used to be around this. I used to make so many sacrifices for it, and it was literally my whole life. And there was this huge competition in October, for which I really practiced for months, because it wasn't only doing the competition, it was about also being selected for the competition. So it was a procedure of months, and I trained so hard for it. And actually, I was on a good track, so I had so much hopes. And then 2 weeks before that, my horse got injured, and so I had to give up on it, and I couldn't ride her for 8 months straight. And then I could, but really gently. So really, it was a dream that could go to the trash. And my whole world collapsed when I heard this. I was so devastated, and I was so broke inside. And then at one point, I realized, how stupid is it to make your whole happiness depend on one single thing, while there's so many other things that can make you happy. So I started discovering and make me forced to discover other stuff. And that's why I joined, for example, this scout thing, and I also started doing much more tennis than I used to. And then I started going out much more, meeting other people much more, going on trips with my friends to discover cultures and cities, and even South America 2 years ago. And it just it's still a failure because I never really took over competition after that. So it stays a failure, but it's a failure that made me grow so much, that forced me to realize so many things about me, that it's something that in the end I'm really glad happened, because I'm a much more happier person. And also, yeah, I just really hope that you will give me the chance to join this program, because I've always been the kind of student that takes studying and grades really seriously, and I've always studied as much as I had to, but I've always valued extra activities so much more, and value the fact to go out of my comfort zone so much more, and so on, and practical experiences and everything. And I feel like SEMS is really the kind of program that is the perfect combination of both, and I would be the happiest person on earth to join this program. So thank you for listening.